Joining me now, Andrew O'Connell, an attorney for Freddie Gray's family. Excuse me. Thank you, Andrew, for being with me. You just heard Joe John's report, right? And he said the attorney for the police union, you heard him, defending the officers' actions. He said they were in the right. They just needed to have suspicion. They had it. They were in the right by arresting Freddie Gray. Your response?
Well, that question has to be answered in the context of what Mr. Gray was doing at the time of the arrest. And what we know now is that he had no weapon in his hand, he was not hurting anybody, and he was committing no crime.
So you're saying there was no weapon. So when they say he had a knife, you're saying no, he did not have a knife, or is the key word in his hand?
In his hand. He had no weapon in his hand. The knife wasn't discovered until after they effected an arrest. Mr. Gray, the only thing they did was make eye contact with the police officer and run, which he was perfectly in his rights to do. He unfortunately didn't run fast enough.
Well, we also just got this, Andrew, and I'm holding it up. This is a letter. This is from the Baltimore Fraternal Union of Police. They just handed this out this afternoon, and in it, they talk about the protests thus far. They acknowledge they have been peaceful. They then continue, though, to say, and I want to read this because I don't want people to think we're throwing these two words around lightly or, paraphrasing. Here's what they say. We are very concerned about the rhetoric of the protests. In fact, the images seen on television look and sound much like a lynch mob in that they are calling for the immediate imprisonment of these officers. Lynch mob?
The choice of words is not only ironic, it's sad. Police officers are never the subject of a lynch mob. It's actually usually the other way around. And in the context of the powder keg that Baltimore City is right now, referring to the citizens of Baltimore City who are peacefully protesting as a lynch mob doesn't serve to keep the peace. It only heightens the flames or fans the flames of people that are already on edge. I think the police commissioner and his subordinates should apologize to the community for these words. They're irresponsible, and they only cause an increase in the tensions. It doesn't decrease. It doesn't lower the tensions of this community, which are on edge at this moment.
Now, I spoke to the spokesman for the Baltimore Police Department. He said there's no evidence force was used by police against Freddie Gray. Let me just play exactly how he put it.
The deputy commissioner said that no force was used. All of the evidence that we have at this time indicates that there was no force used. There was no bruising. There was no indication of any sort of broken bones.
Are you open to the possibility that this is true, that force was not used against Freddie Gray?
No, and that we're having this conversation now is absurd. We've all seen the video. We've all seen officers piling on top of Mr. Gray, who is screaming in pain. We've also seen Mr. Gray dragged to the police van while also in pain with his legs dangling beneath him. Officers on top of somebody affecting a restraining hold on the man is not a peaceful arrest or arrest without force. That's absurd. We know that by looking at the video. All
right, Andrew, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. As he says, the claims from the police are absurd, demanding an apology from the Baltimore Police Union for saying that protesters were acting like, quote unquote, a lynch mob.